There are themes within Takmalah that listeners may find triggering, including intrusive thoughts, violence, domestic abuse, and suicidal ideation. If any of the topics in this episode speak to you, you're not alone. We have partnered with SAD, who host an online support group every Thursday, aptly named Shits and Giggles. Wherever you are on your journey, SAD offers a chance to connect, to be heard and supported by this incredible group of survivors. We've put the link in the show notes, so please get in touch. If you want to become an ally, follow us, rate, review, share, and we can grow this community and help anyone trying to escape an abusive relationship. With each episode, we gain in strength, numbers, and confidence, and are proud to share an initiative we've been working on. We want to implement a domestic violence disclosure scheme in Portugal to prevent any more deaths at the hands of domestic abusers. And with your virtual signature, we are one step closer, as there really is safety in numbers. So please add your name at the link below. Head over to www.change.org/domestic violence disclosure scheme PT. Thank you for listening. There are themes within Takmalah that listeners may find triggering, including intrusive thoughts, violence, domestic abuse, and suicidal ideation. If any of the topics in this episode speak to you, you're not alone. We have partnered with SAD, who host an online support group every Thursday, aptly named Shits and Giggles. Wherever you are on your journey, SAD offers a chance to connect, to be heard and supported by this incredible group of survivors. We've put the link in the show notes, so please get in touch. If you want to become an ally, follow us, rate, review, share, and we can grow this community and help anyone trying to escape an abusive relationship. With each episode, we gain in strength, numbers, and confidence, and are proud to share an initiative we've been working on. We want to implement a domestic violence disclosure scheme in Portugal to prevent any more deaths at the hands of domestic abusers. And with your virtual signature, we are one step closer, as there really is safety in numbers. So please add your name at the link below. Head over to www.change.org/domestic violence disclosure scheme PT. Thank you for listening.
Dear Famalam, you may have noticed that when I take a long break, it's usually because the next episode is tough to read out. And it takes me right back to a difficult time. And it's hard to relive the feelings in the moment because I don't practice. I just come in and read it. So, bear with me. November is Suicide Prevention Month, and I thought by sharing my experience I could also help spread awareness around suicidal ideation after experiencing domestic abuse. The full impact of everything that I'd experienced and survived, and I really want to make that clear. I survived every attempt I made to leave, but the reason why I went back was because of the depth of chaos that ensued. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, it was next level. And after the final time I escaped, the stalking and the terrorising and abuse, the damage to my property, it didn't get any better. You know, why didn't you leave? Oh, I did. I tried 7 times, and that final time, and when you get questions like that, when you finally reach out to say, I really need some help right now, you're met with these questions, and it is terribly re-traumatizing. I remember desperately clawing around for any kind of steady and uncertainty, and just feeling so incredibly deflated because I was fully alert in my understanding that I couldn't control my abuser's behaviour, nor his actions post-escape. I was not and am not responsible for his behaviour after I ended the relationship. And when you're trying to explain, I was very clear in my thinking that I wasn't even going to get into the abuse. I was just going to stick with the facts that were happening to me in that moment. It's a very lonely place when people don't really believe you enough. When the normal rule of a breakup, the normal rules just don't apply. The abuser does not care, and it just became a death by 1,000 cuts. The more I explained, the more people turned away because it's a lot. Everyone is so busy. Everyone's got families of their own. They've got so much going on, and this just seems probably a bit messy. And I didn't know at that point that you can only meet people as far as they've met themselves. And I didn't want anyone to have been in the point that I'd been in, to reach that level of despair. So there really didn't seem that much that I could do. And then I became aware that when you leave your domestic abuser, you are 76. I'm not saying that right. When victims leave their abuser, 76% of them are likely to be killed by the abuser. Now, as with me, my abuser had put his hands around my throat and also covered my airways. When they do that to you, you're 800 times more likely to be killed by your abuser because they put their hands around your throat. And statistically, this dangerous period when abusers kill their victims in interpersonal, violent, interpersonal, abusive relationships, you need to wait it out and stay safe for 1.5 years. Now that's 18 months, 78 weeks, or 546 days. That's 13,104 hours 786,240 minutes, or 47,174,400 seconds to stay alive and stay safe during uncertain times that you have no control over the outcome. And when the people that you would naturally turn to don't really understand perpetrator demographics, they don't really get the risk factors, it's very difficult to access the help that you need. Personally, I tried to call APAV here in Portugal for 2 months. And for 2 weeks of those 2 months, a friend of mine also tried intermittent times. Our calls were never picked up. My 2 months of trying to call APAV, where I was at a real rock bottom of despair. Those fell over July and August. So I guess it's closed for summer holidays. Also, it's only available from 9 till 8 at night, or 9 till 11 at night, or something like that. I mean, let's just hope that no one's doing any domestic abuse outside of those hours. And the police, don't get me started, that's a whole other episode. I also contacted Women's Aid. As you can hear, I'm from Great Britain. So, yeah. I was accepted for specialist counselling from them, which honestly saved my life. And then I wasn't told. I chased about this, explaining just how desperate I was. And I chased and I chased and I chased. And then I chased last time and was told the funding had been pulled. And I know that they're probably a very overwhelmed charity, but I had explained that I was thinking about topping myself, I think. That, when a victim reaches out to you and asks for help, one of the things I would like to share is that they are desperate. I'm just going to give you some numbers. Excuse me. 90% of victims of domestic abuse that end their life have had a history of police contact surrounding their abuse. 3/4 were known to have had regular contact with their doctors. And almost 2/3 had sought out specific counselling support post-escape. Just over half of the victims had engaged with specialist domestic abuse services. So the vast majority of victims made attempts to access the support that they needed before their death. The high risks posed by coercive and controlling behaviour when it needs to be embedded in professional curiosity when attending unexpected deaths. Prosecution of perpetrators for domestic abuse after a victim's suicide is essential. and improvements, continuous improvements in the approach to suspected victim suicides. I feel it needs a multi-agency approach to effectively safeguard victims, where 4 out of 5 abusers are already known to the police. I did all the right things. I'd contacted the doctor and I actually booked 4 appointments, and each one was cancelled due to strikes. For every 4 appointments, for each one, I risked my safety to be out in the open, and I was petrified my abuser would see me or my car, and that would set him off on another rage bender. So it took, for me, to drive there, a lot of guts. The panic attacks were exhausting, and the hope was taken away each time something I'd gone out of my way to do to help myself and my situation was taken away, or appointments cancelled, and it was debilitating. One time, on the number 4 cancellation of my doctor appointment, I was so desperate for help, I burst into tears after hearing that it had been cancelled. And I cried out to the unsuspecting security guard manning the door, "Mate, I don't know if I can make it till then. Right now, I'm trying not to kill myself." I did all the things I was meant to do. I even begged the universe to show me better. Show me better, and I'd stick around. I hung on to people's words, empty talks of help, promises of dancing with my dear life. These dangerous moments of hope that didn't materialise, I'd say to myself over and over again, I just needed a clear run at it. 6 months I started off with, and then it reduced down to a month, and then it was a week, a day. Just give me a moment. The terrorising went on for months, and I just needed a day with no surprises or any more bollocks from baked beans, but it kept on coming. It just didn't seem that fair. I'd escaped this horrendous situation to be met with this. So, ending my life was an option, because it was easier than this massive mountain and I needed to move on my own. You see, domestic abuse permeates every single facet of your life. The only thing that wasn't affected was my relationship with my dogs. They were still with me. That was the only thing. Everything else, fucked. And where I had reached out to the family, it just left me really confused and feeling that they thought in some way that I did deserve it too, and that's perhaps why they weren't helping me. And that had been drummed and beaten into me anyway, so that's what I surmised. And that confusion, every time I asked for help, sent me right back to feeling so utterly alone in the world, and that I couldn't do it and I didn't deserve any better. Because when my pleas for help were met with, to me, odd questions and judgment and just this lack of kindness and just care for me, I didn't understand. I thought we were all on the same page, that if something wasn't cool, that we did something about it. But yeah, I was that desperate for help. You see, I don't feel shame about what baked beans did to me, because why would I feel shame for somebody else's actions? But it just begged the question that when I shared what happened to me, or what was happening to me, the post-abuse, I don't know, I just felt that people didn't believe me, and it just made me think that on some level, when they were turning away from me, that they thought the same, because abusers treat their victims as they think they deserve to be treated. So it felt very much like those around me felt that I deserved it too. And the silence. The silence. And then you're met with, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Can't be that bad. Oh, well, it's over now. What's he going to do? I'm telling you what he's doing since I've left. He's capable of anything. 76% of all victims are killed once they've left their abuser. Why didn't you say? Yeah, so it's a difficult time. Just let it go. And that resentment builds. And it's hard to stay positive. It's hard to stay hopeful when you just feel so utterly alone, misunderstood, in danger. And that's not quite being grasped by the people that you love. So what would you have a victim do? What more does a victim need to do?
Ancient traditions mingle with new aspirations.